Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are we? Hope we are all well. Welcome to episode 6 of the JumpCrouch Podcast. Oh, got that all in one move that time. I tend to have a little think halfway through saying it. I'm your host again, Matt. I am joined this week by Peter.
It's Pierre this week.
Pierre?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why are we gone all French?
I'm going to change it every week.
Oh, okay. So we've got Pierre. We're joined by Abby.
Don't you mean Wabby?
Wabby. Oh, I've had a week away and I've even forgot my own people's names now. And I'm not doing very well. So we've got Pierre and Wabby. And then we've got Wake Up.
That's a new one. Okay.
Well, I thought, obviously Pete's changed to Pierre. I forgot Wabby. I might as well just get Wake Up now. But mind you, now I've just gone with Wabby to Wake
Well, he
Up.
could be Jacob.
Yeah. Hob. Oh, I like it. Hob. I've got to go with the phlegmy bit, haven't I?
Jesus.
I'm glad that you didn't go with mine with the W at the start. Because then it'd be we.
Yeah. Oh, that sounded really French. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've had a week in France, so I've become quite the good
Cunning
with the
linguist.
lingo. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I didn't know if it was right, so I thought I'll just stop myself halfway through. Mind you, I say quite good. Wabby did text me something, and I was like, what? Okay.
I literally says ça va.
And I was like, sorry, I'm crap.
Should have just said we.
Mm-hmm. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Sorry. So, anyway, right, we'll move into how everybody is and what we've been playing for this past couple of weeks. It has been 2 weeks this time. So, Wabby, how are we? How you been and what you've been playing?
I'm good. I have actually been playing a lot of games this week. Well, last 2 weeks. So I finished watching Hannibal, so I had to return to playing games. So I have been played a bit of Dead Cells the other day. Returned to that.
Ooh.
Been playing that solidly almost for about a year, and I still haven't finished it. Some more Helldivers, although we jumped on to try and play that just before the podcast, and it wouldn't let us in.
Oh, really?
So not as much Helldivers as I'd like, but hopefully that's just an issue with the last patch. And I've been playing a lot of God of War Ragnarok.
So restart,
Ragnarok.
rewind, go again.
I'm not saying it again. I've been playing God of War. And I really wanted to like it, but I really don't. And now I'm just playing it out of sheer stubbornness because I really want to finish.
What didn't like about it?
Too many puzzles, and I find the combat quite boring.
Did you find out with the first one as well? Or?
I actually didn't mind the first one, but I've put 30 hours into this one
Jesus.
so far, and I'm still going.
Is that just this week?
It's not far off, you know. But I don't know, I'm just finding it really tedious at the moment, but maybe it's because I've been playing it for just hours and hours at a time, and I'm just getting a bit fed up with it. But I really enjoy the story. I can't really fault that. Can't fault, how pretty it looks. But, I played God of War 3 recently, and I just way prefer the combat of the older ones, with all the combos and stuff like that, whereas this one doesn't really have as much of that. It's just press the tab or press the trigger, and then you've got the special moves as well, so the combat just doesn't really feel as satisfying. But I don't remember being bothered by that in the first one, so I don't know if it's just me or whether anyone else feels that way as well. But I do know that it is supposed to be a very good game, so I feel like I should be really enjoying it.
But you're just not at the moment.
No, but I'm going to keep on playing it anyway and be in a mood with it because, that's how I roll.
Yeah, I was going to be arsey with it until I finish.
Yeah, and then I can play Spider-Man 2 and the first Hellblade game. So I've got them all lined up, ready to go.
Hellblade. That'd be good. Getting ready for the second one to come out on Xbox Game Pass launch.
Yes, you got that Game Pass reference in really quick.
I know. What are we? I think something like 4 or 5 minutes in so far. So, buzzing.
Yeah, well done.
You know, if you ever get a sponsorship for one, it's going to be PS Plus, don't you? It's to be the ultimate irony.
That's all I'm saying. Go on then, Pierre. Hit us.
I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Playing a lot.
What have you been
Really
doing?
good.
How are you? What have you been playing?
Told you, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, he
I
just.
can't.
Yeah, said
Were
it.
you a whispering it? I couldn't hear.
I'll shout in the mic, is that better?
That's better.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
better. Yeah, I heard that then. It was like, I've been doing this and doing that.
I'm just trying to find out dramatic effect. That's fine.
Bit ASMR-y for me.
Yeah. I suppose, your audience, where your hearing goes.
You're older than me.
That's a blatant lie. In fact, I mean, obviously, because I could hear myself, but you can hear me, so. Let's check, mate.
No, we know you're older than me, so you don't be kicking that with me. No,
That
behave.
sounds like propaganda to me. False.
Yeah,
False
fake
facts.
news.
Yep. Alternate facts.
Oh God.
Anyway,
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. When I'm not playing that, I get back into Genshin Impact.
I actually don't know anything about Genshin Impact. Is it that's a is that free to play? That's...
Technically, yes.
Oh, I see. One of those.
It is, I mean, you can play through the entire story of the game for free. They put out a lot of content for nothing. It's only when you want certain characters that's where it gets. How should I put this? Scummy.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. Really enjoyed the story. That's why I went back. I was playing through the Fontaine story, and it's very good. Not a lot of games make me cry, but Genshin Impact is almost like scientifically engineered to make me cry, and it does it a lot. That annoys me.
Okay.
But I do enjoy it. Yeah. So play through the story and just doing dailies and stuff like that again. So yeah, I mean that and just the usual plugging away just side games. That's the two main ones. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, fantastic. Played the first one, liked it. You'll like this.
well, we thought you'd like anyway because you are a Final Fantasy person.
Final Fantasy VII is my favourite game of all time. So
Okay.
I think that's a lot of people's, isn't it? To be honest.
as yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Hence why it is our one and only contender for our March game of the month so far.
Yeah.
Look,
I
we're
don't
only
think other games come out much, but
yeah,
again, I think we'll talk about those later.
we're only on
Oh,
the
yes.
24th. We're only on the 24th.
And Matt, you need to have a look and see what came out on Game Pass this month, and get on it.
Okay, I'll be doing it. Don't worry, I'll be doing it. Wacob, go on then, hit us.
Finish Hellblade.
Whee!
It is a genuinely really good game. I recommend it to anybody. It's not long as well, so I managed to finish the campaign in about 8-9 hours. Still got a couple of collectibles to find, but it's a really good game. Very weird as well with the voices going on whilst you're trying to do stuff in the game. But it's a really good game. If you got Game Pass, give it a try. In time for Hellblade 2 in May, is it?
25th,
Yeah,
the
I
21st of
definitely
May.
wanna- Yeah, I want to play that before the second one comes out because that looks really good.
Yeah, well, you should be able to get that covered no bother. I was thinking it was going to be a bit longer, but you know what? I think the length of the game was just right, so no complaints from me. Did a bit of Halo and Call of Duty World War just for doing something different, and then started a new game today. Just appeared on Game Pass called Evil West.
Evil West.
It was quite fun actually. He was streaming it for us before you came online.
Okay. And what's that then when it's at home?
You're fighting against vampires in the Wild West. It's
Okay, that's got me straight away.
I just remember seeing the trailer for it ages ago and go, like, that looks really good. I just never got round to getting it, and then suddenly found it was on Game Pass today. I was just like, well, perfect timing. I'll give it a try. And yeah, so far, what I played so it's been really good. Really enjoying it. I'm going to put some more time into it.
Oh, I might have.
Look at you playing a new game, putting
know.
the rest of us to shame. Apart from Pete. Oh, I mean Pierre, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got the newer game, but
Pierre.
I believe it's pronounced Peter.
Oh, oh, that looks sounds good. I'm gonna have to have a quick look at that in a minute and see if I can find it and download it.
I recommend it. It's also got co-op in it, so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
right. Leave it with me, son. Leave
Alright.
it with me. I'll have a gander. So yeah, so me, I've been on holiday last week. So I did take my Switch with me. Yes, I know the big conversation that we already had before. But I managed to play quite a bit of Luigi's Mansion 3. I've nearly completed it now. It's only taken me God knows how long, but it's when you get time to actually play it, or even, should I say, the interest to play it, because I just can't be arsed with it half the time. The Switch, which we've already had these conversations about. But, yeah, so I was having fun. I went to Disneyland.
Oh.
Absolutely. And I met Minnie Mouse.
How was it?
She was fit.
Okay.
No. Do you know what? Disneyland, good fun. I wouldn't say go there without any kids to the Paris one, because I think it's mainly set for them, for like under 10-year-olds. You know, majority of a lot of stuff there's for. They've got the Disneyland Studios there, which is bit more adulty, but it's only a small section. You can do that in 3/4 of a day.
Okay. Is it
That-
really expensive there?
So it's about £200 a ticket for us for 4 days, and that was
Okay.
each. That was each. Which wasn't really, I didn't too bad for going there, because you know it basically worked out £50 a day, which again wasn't too bad for when you've got kids. But if I went there as an adult, I would have been a bit. Oh, okay, great. But compared to what you do if you go to like Alton Towers and stuff like that, the wait times were quiet. You know, I could get on a ride every half an hour.
Okay, that's not so bad, is it? 'Cause
No.
You don't want to spend all your time queuing.
And that's it. And from what I've heard from people with the Florida one, you know, queuing like nearly 3 hours to do certain rides, it sounds like an absolute winner to go on to go to Paris one. But again, to me, I think it's more suited for kids. You know, families take your kids, and you can go on some of the bigger ones. There's not too many big rides, but there is a few. But to be honest, we are aiming to do Florida in 5 years now.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because I want to go to Universal and do all that. Plus, I want to go to Springfield because I want to go and sit in Moe's and have a beer.
That would be pretty cool.
That is it.
I don't think I could persuade Tony to go to Disneyland. I'm
Disneyland.
not sure I want to go to Disneyland. Oh, well, yeah, with the because there's Disney World, isn't there, and Disneyland?
Yeah, Disney
So-
World. Yeah, Disney World is the Florida one, and then Disneyland is Paris.
Ah, okay.
So you can convince him to go to Disney World.
Could convince him to go to America.
Yeah.
We've been meaning to go back to Vegas at some point, but
Vegas.
maybe not to Disney World.
Why not?
Well, neither of us are really big Disney fans.
We don't go to Universal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, because that Universal is the adult park,
Right.
and
okay.
it's apparently a mixture between the 4 parks that are there. It is actually the same size as Manchester.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And they're hoping to have it all finished, as in how they've wanted it to be for years, in the next 5 years. And once they've built it up, they are saying it's slightly bigger than Greater Manchester itself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's got 4 actual physical parks there. So obviously Disneyland is one park, Universal's one park. I think it's got a Warner Brothers park, and I don't know what the other one is. And then in there, it's got its own massive sections. Like in Universal, it has got its own bit called Springfield, where it's purely Simpsons set out. And to be honest, that's what I'm aiming for. Like, the wife and that'll sod off to Disneyland, and I'll be like, right, I'll see you in a few
Simpsons Land.
days. I'm off to Universal.
Apparently they're building one in Bedford.
Say that again.
No.
Apparently they're building one in Bedford.
Building what? Disneyland?
Universal.
Universal? That'll be awesome.
There's not much else in Bedford, to be fair.
I didn't want to come out with the Bedford hate, but it's not enough.
It's true, I've been.
But it is good fun. It is good fun. You're definitely worth it. Well, yeah, in a sense. But yeah, so that was pretty much my gaming bit was holidaying. For me, which wasn't too bad. So, right, that's the pleasantries out the way and the names. So I'm going to pass over to Pierre. He's going to talk a bit more about the news. I'm not quite up to date as of yet. I'm just going to read some bits and listen to these guys for a moment whilst we catch up on what's going on. So, Pierre, over to you.
Yeah, cool. So, some news from this week. I posted this in the chat. I don't know if everybody has a chance to see it. At the Game Development Choice Awards, Baldur's Gate 3, of course, won Game of the Year. And the CEO blasted publishers for their greed, basically saying that's why you're having layoffs, and saying it's a perpetual cycle because they decide to lay people off who have institutional talent, knowledge, which means you have to hire more people, which means you have to train those people up, and then they let them go, which means you have to do it all over again, and it's hurting their games.
It just costs them more in the long run as well, especially on like recruitment costs and things like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it looks good for a quarter, and that's all everybody cares about now. It's, every 3 months I have to have more money.
It is. Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? But not unsurprising, let's say.
Yeah, it's awful, but it's not a gaming problem. It's a society problem.
Yeah, it's a capitalism problem.
Yeah, it's like I said in the article, the only thing they care about is the was it the quarter profits? So they're not motivated by anything apart from can this game generate us lots of money?
And those dividend payments to shareholders.
Yeah, who is their actual customers? It's not people to sell games to.
Well, at least Baldur's Gate 3 developers that got it right.
Yeah, it's because they're not owned by anyone; they own themselves.
Okay.
So they can get away with that, and they're not a publicly traded company, so they don't have to give money to shareholders.
Yeah, I was going to say they're a relatively small studio then, because like these smaller studios seem to absolutely be killing it so far this year.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you put it next to like Ubisoft, then everybody's a small company. On Wikipedia, it says 450 employees.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
That's a reasonable size, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, not quite to the scale of like some of these ones that are having all the layoffs.
yeah, I mean, if it's credits for an Ubisoft game these days, the thing literally takes about 30 minutes. Just because so many studios are working on their games that they have to include everybody from that studio. Remember seeing the intro for Skull and Bones, that banger that released last month. And do you remember that game?
Game of the year.
Yeah, game of game of year.
Game.
A game of year. Yeah. There's so many people working on those type of games. Yeah, it's depressing. Also, with depressing, just sticking with Larian. They have come out and said that there is no plans for any new content for Baldur's Gate 3, nor are they going to be making Baldur's Gate 4.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. I imagine there's a lot of reasons. One of the ones would be just to bring it back. At the end of last year, Hasbro had a whole bunch of layoffs, which affected Wizards of the Coast to make D&D. And Larian came out and says, yeah, all the people, pretty much everybody we worked with for this game at the start are all gone.
Oh God.
I did have to work with new people, and there's to be a whole bunch of things. And I think just spending 7 years doing Baldur's Gate 3, they're like, right, we're just going to move on to a new thing and probably their own IP. That they've said will dwarf Baldur's Gate 3. And give Baldur's Gate 3 is like a 100-hour game. That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the next one? You brought that story up.
Well, the next one's the Resident Evil. That wasn't me.
That was me. So
Okay, yeah, you go in then.
it's a quick thing. So everybody knows who Shinji Mikami is, creator of Resident Evil. So he left to start a company called Tango Gameworks. So they made the Evil Within series, Ghostwire Tokyo. But then last year he decided to, he left the company, so he's now formed a new company. But there's no news of what this company's not doing yet, so it's very early days. But yeah, he's got a new project.
What is it?
Well, that's the project at the moment is a new company.
Oh.
What game he's going to do, we don't know yet. But
Oh, so I thought you meant. Sorry, I thought you meant like he's got the game is a new project, but you just. I thought you.
No, the new company's the project. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see what comes out of it. But yeah, he's started up.
Oh, exciting! It is.
Yeah, they started a new company. The one that made the Evil Within.
Yeah, I remember. Well, he was the what is it? He served as the director for Evil Within, so that was what got me interested in the games. And the first one's a bit clunky, but I did like the style. But then the second one was a huge improvement. But he also oversaw Ghostwire Tokyo and Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush remember reviewing very well.
Yeah.
I think Ghostwire Tokyo had a very good trailer, but I think it was maybe a wee bit too odd when it came out. Like we were using like magic in the game.
I tried Hi-Fi. Well, I've got Ghostwire on. I think it was Epic, so it's one of those games that on the long list to try out, but it does look interesting.
Okay. Abby, you fancy doing the next one?
Yes. So I don't know if any of you three have seen the leaks for the specs for the PS5 Pro.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah. It probably looks like a PS5, I should imagine, from the pictures. And then it's quite slim looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think they've got a tentative. The article says holiday 2024, so I think that is Christmas-ish for us British people. So yeah, let's say hopefully end of 2024. So some of the information that's come from that is rendering 45% faster than the PS5. We've also got, so in terms of memory, the current PS5 you're looking at about 448 gig versus 576 gig in the new one. And it's got all sorts of techie sounding things. So you got high CPU frequency mode, which ramps up clock speeds to 3.5 gigahertz. So that's a 10% clock boost over the current PS5. Audio improvements. So they've got this thing called Audio Compression Manager, which is supposed to have a 35% uptick in performance. I don't know, like, how that translates to like gameplay experience. So, like, you know, for me, that audio is audio, but we'll see. The rendering is rumored to be 45% faster. I've got that one already. I wrote that down twice. Ray tracing performance supposedly quadrupled. It's got this thing called an AI accelerator. So this is basically custom machine learning architecture. I'm not really sure what that's doing yet. In-game resolutions up to 8K, and something called PSSR, which is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling, which is an upscaling / anti-aliasing solution. So lots of words there, but like, I think the general gist is like it's the PS 5.5 almost. Like it's bridging the gap between current PS5 and what will be the PS6, I guess.
Jesus.
So I'm quite happy with my PS5. So at the moment, I'm not sure like I've got any need for a Pro. But in terms of performance, it potentially sounds impressive. It's just whether it warrants the price tag for me, which like, I don't have any information on that.
I was about to say, any inkling on the price, because it wasn't cheap, the PS5, when that first came out.
No, but this should mean that the current PS5 might come down in price a little bit with a new one coming.
If it comes at a handsome price, I might be interested.
I think it will still be expensive. That's my hunch anyway.
My next purchase will be a Steam Deck anyway.
Yes, yeah, we'll get some games on that for when you come round actually.
Oh yeah.
So I've got a few random bits of news. So Apex Legends was hacked during ALGS, which is like like an esports tournament. So it's I'm not sure if this is their username, but somebody going by the name of Destroyer 2009 hacked players and put hacks like aim assist onto their games during this tournament. So almost like gifting them hacks against their will. And I think my understanding from this is he basically did it for fun to expose weaknesses within the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it says, just imagine if it wasn't a joke and we didn't put any memes in the cheat. I'm pretty sure you can ruin someone's career if they had a cheat pop up on a tournament. And that's the quote from the person that did it.
That's quite a
So
shitty
I
thing.
think Respawn have patched the game now to cover for that.
Yeah, the scary thing with that is if they had managed to find a way to hack the anti-cheat and were able to, because the anti-cheat is a kernel level, so if they could hack that and take control of that, then they can pretty much get anything they want off your computer and do what they want with it.
Yeah.
And it's a easy anti-cheat, which is used in a lot of games. If you look at their Steam page, their website, you're going to have at least one game that they have, because easy anti-cheat is in a lot of games. So
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I've seen that pop up when I've launched quite a few games.
yeah, I was going to play the first-person shooter from EVE Online, EVE Vanguard, this weekend, because they gave me 4 free days of game time to let me do it, because I played the previous one on the PlayStation. So I downloaded it and then seen it was using easy anti-cheat. I don't want to play anything with easy anti-cheat right now.
No, and it's just as well this person didn't really have particularly malicious intent either.
Yeah. But one game like I was going to play this week that has it was Dead by Daylight. That's easy anti-cheat. They've got a event on right now. You can get a whole bunch of blood points. I was going to get back into, but I'm going to take the risk.
I think, does Helldivers have easy anti-cheat as well?
I think Helldivers is different.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember. Like, I'm sure I've launched something recently that has it, but I can't remember what it was. Like Fall Guys, that definitely had it, didn't it?
Yes.
Remember
Fortnite has
that.
it.
Okay. So yes, thank you, Destroyer 2009, for highlighting that issue. Oh yes, I saw a trailer for Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra the other day. So this is a upcoming game from Marvel set in obviously 1943. So that stars a young Captain America and the WW2. This is me reading it off. World War II era Black Panther, who is the grandfather of T'Challa. So like what was the modern day Black Panther. Don't really know an awful lot about it yet, other than it's using Unreal 5.4 The trailer looks very pretty, but I think it's one of those trailers that uses the in-game engine, but isn't really much in the way of footage. So at the moment, I'm intrigued by that. So I'd recommend having a look at the trailer. But as we'll come to soon, I'm very dubious about any games that come out now.
Yeah.
And
Comic book games are very much like comic movies, and they do pretty much a coin toss whether they're going to be good or not at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last little bit of news I've got is just around Kotaku. So I used to be a big fan of this website, like probably around 2012 when it was at its height. But the editor-in-chief has just resigned. She's only been in the role, I think, 5 or 6 months, because they're basically told to focus only on guides and not on news anymore. Because I think that my understanding is like Kotaku is just like on a downward spiral, and this is just another nail in the coffin, really. Do any of you guys read Kotaku anymore?
Nah.
Feels like a bit of a relic of
not
the
really.
past to me. Oh, sorry, I missed Tony's messages. The hacker had access to the game clients on their PC, nothing to do with easy anti-cheat. There you go. So going back to the hacking one.
Okay, so it's confirmed that there wasn't easy actually. All right, well that's good
Yeah.
to know.
And then possibly £500 to £600 for the PS5.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ, you might as well get a PC.
I don't know. I don't think you get a very good PC for that amount of money.
No, that's. Remember a decade ago I bought a PC for about £600. It did me pretty well. To pay that for a decent graphics card these days, but not the best. Yeah. Not that anyone, maybe in the chat would know anything about paying like exorbitant amount of money for a graphics card.
Well, before COVID, just before COVID, my PC only cost me about £700.
How many times have you upgraded it since?
What have I upgraded? The PSU and the graphics card so far I've upgraded since then. But the graphics card was okay. It would still play games and whatnot. I just was grumpy and thought I'm going to update the GPU still. And then because I updated the GPU, I had to get a new power supply as well. So
Tony says he feels personally attacked.
Personally
By by those comments about spending lots of money.
I mean, if you've got money, go for it.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
It's more just how insane that graphics card prices have gone.
that's his hobby.
Yes,
That's what he likes to do.
He's going to buy 2 PS5 Pros.
one for each bedroom.
Yeah.
It's for that price for the PS5 Pros. I can either buy a console or I can pay a month's rent and heating. So which is more important at those two?
Well,
Console.
put a coat
Yeah.
on.
That's fine. I can live without heating for a little bit. We're going to the summer months now, so we just won't need it as much.
Exactly.
There we go.
So those are my little... Oh, no, I've got one more news piece.
Oh.
So, well, it's not really a news piece. I just wanted to address the launch of the Battlefront Collection. So I was very excited for this. Didn't pre-order it, just in case. And I'm glad I didn't. So I haven't played it, but I've seen plenty of footage of it. I know they launched with 3 servers, so we're expecting, 200 people? And that's it to be playing it. Graphical bugs everywhere, especially on Hoth, which looks like a blue and red mess. People not able to get into lobbies, lots of rubber banding. It's just basically dog poop.
Fuck.
I'm not going to do the first swear of the podcast.
Oh, that was me then.
Yeah, but no, absolutely awful. I think Tony's refunded his.
Wow.
So just another really disappointing game launch. Like, how wrong can you get it? Like, a game of this age, just polish it a little bit. People will play it. Like, you can play the original games with mods and it looks better than the collection. And yes, Tony's just pointed out in chat, plagiarizing a modder's work as well. So this came out, I think, originally during the trailer. And then they were like, oh no, it's just old footage. We're not using anyone's mods, but that's a big fat lie. So yeah, not only is it crap, they're plagiarizing someone else's work and passing it off as their own as well.
That was maybe the most depressing story of the past 2 weeks. Seeing how badly that was.
So all I've got to say about that is bring back EA. All is forgiven.
It's the Thanos beam into. Maybe I just you too harshly.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah, interesting is definitely the word. Unfortunately, not all good. But at least we had some good. We've had some good stories. Last two, I'll take.
There's been no layoffs this time.
Yeah, well, not I've seen. I'm sure there have been. I'm sure somebody in chat may be like, "Yeah, actually, we can all get depressed because we missed it."
Yep.
But just two stories. One very quickly. The League of Legends MMO has apparently been reset, and there will be no news coming from it for a couple of years. It's better some context. I think they started working on this in maybe a decade ago, something like that, and then started to really ramp up production on it like 5 or 6 years ago, and now may not get it for another half a decade. It seems like I don't know what's going on with this game. It seems like it's going through a nightmare of development. I know they just recently cancelled their Right Forge program, which had a bunch of basically small indie developers making games in the League of Legends universe, and they didn't get a lot of advertising as far as I can see, but every game they were seemed very solid. I played the Ruined King game. It was like a turn-based like old JRPG game. It was really solid. It was really good. Apparently, the Song of Nunu is fantastic. It's like I think it's like an action platformer. So if you've not played one of them years, take a look into it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Riot. They're being very odd with their moves. But speaking of being odd with your moves, Dragon's Dogma. So, how many people have seen what's happening with this?
I have, but I'd
Yep.
like to hear all about it anyway.
Yes.
I haven't, so I'm interested.
Oh, okay.
So, Dragon's Dogma 1 came out, I think it was about 2012, 2013. Didn't sell amazingly, but was a cult classic. I've tried a couple of times to get into it, I can't. It's a very... I don't know how to describe it. It's just a very like clunky game, intentionally. Like intentionally puts like roadblocks in front of you, just to try and push forward past them. You'd never get into it. The fast travel system I remember reading about at the time, and it's like one of those things where how everybody was like, "Oh, the worst thing they did in Bethesda games give you fast travel." Dragon's Dogma went, you're right. We won't put the good fast travel in, and then a lot of people realised, actually, I can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered having to trek back all the time I want to do something. I might hand in a quest and have to spend 15 to 20 minutes going back to where I was. Just my own thing. If you liked it, then that's fair enough. Certainly things you can discover like when you're travelling in an open world game, but no, I'm not for that at this point. No. So the new game has came out, which no one really thought they were ever going to get. So it's fantastic. It's cult classic. Finally getting a remake after all these years. Fantastic, great news. And they decided to put a whole bunch of microtransactions into it.
Of
The
course.
stupidest of microtransactions as well.
Yes. Yeah. So there is a bit of a misconception out there. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you can only fast travel if you have paid into the game, paid the DLC or bought the deluxe edition." That's not true. They just make it so much easier for you. They give you like the things you need at the start of the game. I was finding out that apparently a lot of the quests are timed. So if you move so far into the story, and some of the quests just get locked off from you because you've moved on. And so maybe a fast travel would be handy for that, because then you can go back quickly, hand them in.
I'm sorry, what? So basically, it's as if the game is timed, so after a certain amount, then you have to pay, what, for certain quests?
I would no. Basically, if you move forward in the story too far, like quests behind you like become locked off, so you can't do them anymore.
Oh.
So you could either run all the way back and to hand them in, or if you've bought, this DLC, then you can just fast travel back.
That's
So it just becomes
bollocks.
easier for that. There is only like most of the items on the DLC shop are all stuff you can get in the game, but this is just a way to leg up. This is just making it so much easier to get a leg up, start well into the game.
It's basically pay to win, isn't it? But with a single player game.
Essentially, yeah, which makes no sense. It's literally a single player game.
Jesus.
And they're basically throwing in time savers from what was it? Is it Breakpoint? That Ubisoft game. The one with the Punisher was the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of the stuff that was in that, and everybody called them out for it because it was massively dumb. But Capcom were like, haha, we're going to try that, much better. No, they didn't. So, yeah. So the game currently has a 50% rating on Steam.
Oof.
The hell. That is not good, is it?
No. And most of it are just complaining about these microtransactions, just not needed.
They'll get away with it if people buy them, though.
No.
Like, the only way to stop it is to hit them in their wallet, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the annoying thing. And the other thing is that because of this, might not get a Dragon's Dogma 3 because the game doesn't sell.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, it's because people don't want it. And it's like, no, people do want this game. Just, it's not selling because you've put in all these stupid nickel and diamond microtransactions.
How much is the game anyway?
It's £54.
See,
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a full price game already.
and that's it. And that's the annoying thing. 50 odd quid to me is still astronomical for an actual game anyway. But and then to have to pay for things inside that price is an absolute piss take.
Yeah, it cost you an extra £37 for all the DLC.
Fucking hell.
That's crazy.
Think about that. That's more than you pay to buy Helldivers.
Yeah.
The full game.
Yeah, plus the premium war bonds. Like, Helldivers isn't that expensive. I think Helldivers is just below 40 quid at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's 35.
I
and
got
then-
it for £23, I think.
That's all right. I
Yeah.
bought the premium war bonds as well because I don't mind supporting a developer. But even then, that cost me like just under a tenner. That's just insane.
Yeah, that's nothing,
Yeah.
though, is it really?
So yeah, like that game I was looking at was like, I've got stuff to play just now, but I think at some point in the future, like I definitely would like to try that. No, I don't know if I bother.
Well, do you think they will patch it and put those things actually in the game, or do you think they'll keep the?
So all the stuff set from 2 are already in the game, but you have to go out and grind them, and earn them, stuff like that. This just gives you like a leg up, but again, it's a leg up like. It's like some of the things is like a heartbeat lure. I don't know if anybody played the first game, but heartbeats are a pain in the bum because they basically just kind of swoop down on you and throw things at you. So if you're a melee character, you can't really get to them. It's a pain. Where heartbeat lures will drag them, like lure them onto the ground, so you can actually slash at them.
Okay.
You can get that for 90p, or you can grind it in the game. If you've got it on it, then you can use it. It's just such a cynical, evil way of thinking about games. Just selling you all these wee things. You know what you could do? Just make it put them on the game, make them easier in the game. You know what? The game's probably going to be better for it.
Yeah, I'm morally opposed to paying for things like that should be in the game.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah. So the only two things you can't get that are in the Deluxe Edition, but you can't get in the game, are the Explorer's Camping Kit, which is basically it's like you camp out in the game. This is a camping kit that looks different from the others and weighs less, but you can carry more other stuff. And the Heartfelt Pendant, which you can give to NPCs to get up your rating with them, like your affiliation.
No.
So yeah, that's a game I wanted to like, but not apparently not.
Yeah, it's not on my list, to be honest. Like, I always, now, whenever any new game comes out, I just wait and see what streamers are saying about it. Like, jump on a stream, watch it, or, like, watch the likes of, like, Moist Critical or Asmongold talking about these games, and then I'll make my decision from there.
Yeah, so also the other annoying thing about this, which is really annoying, people just reminded me there, they sent out review copies to
Oh, yeah.
you know, YouTubers and publishers, news sites, stuff like that. So they'll publish their reviews, and it's all like glowing and stuff like that. You know, just like, oh yeah, just you like Dragon Ball One, you'll love this game. So they put all that, and then day one they added all this DLC. So all those people are getting hate stuff, saying, oh, why are you recommending this game with all this crap? And they're like, it wasn't in when we played it.
Yeah, that's not even, like, unusual for, like, embargoes as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, you know this as well, don't you, Matt? Like, I think one of the big ones that I remember recently was the embargo around The Last of Us 2, where you weren't allowed to talk about the last 45 minutes of the game, and you weren't
Yeah.
allowed to base your review on that either.
Nope.
You had to base it on everything up until that point.
Yeah. And that
Yeah, there's usually loads of rules as well, isn't there, what you can talk about?
absolutely, yeah. And there's quite a lot of it is you're not allowed to talk about any of the microtransactions at all in most embargoes with them. You know, you have to steer away from it, so it's quite difficult. But things like that is absolute crap. I mean, I say you saying then, Abby, obviously that you wait and you listen to people who've played it and get those reviews. And I think me and Jacob are probably similar on how we do things. We wait pretty much until you guys get them, and it's probably very rare that it'll be a matter of I'm getting this on day one release. I know with Jacob, obviously it'll be one of these of I'm getting Halo because it's Halo and I need Halo on day one.
Tony was just
yeah.
saying as well in the chat that all the DLC was linked within the email for reviewers, so they did actually know.
But were they allowed to say it? That's the thing. Were they allowed to talk about it?
I don't know if that's been... Yeah, I'm not sure if they've addressed that. We did watch a video today where somebody was saying that, like, he knew about this. But, yeah, like, embargoes can be a bit iffy,
Yeah.
can't they? That's why I don't really like the whole, like, principle of getting review copies, because they just tie your hands in terms of what you can say, and then if you go against that, then you ain't getting any review copies anymore.
No, they won't send you anything at all. So it's either you stick by their sort of rules, or no, you'll buy it like everybody else. So do you know what? I'd rather buy it like everyone else and just
Exactly,
find
yeah,
out.
because at least then you can give, like, a fully honest review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this leads us very nicely to probably our end topic of this one, of worst games at launch. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be that was just a crap game. It was hyped up so massively that when we played it, it was rubbish. It can be like this. It is such a hyped game, you know, for people wanting to play it, and then they've gone and done something like this, where it's a matter of, oh, you can have it, but unless you want to pay this extra 30 odd quid, you won't finish it.
There's so many contenders.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. The first one, when we said about this, the first one that came to my mind of recent, I say recent, few years now, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just what Tony's put in chat as
Ah,
well.
yeah,
That was
I've
going to be like my number one as well.
I've just
Yeah, it's on
seen
my
that.
list as well.
I've just seen that, and he's put Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Now,
on mine as well.
No Man's Sky came out because it was just crap. It really
There was nothing in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was boring, absolute boring. It wasn't until they did a huge patch where it was a matter of, do you know what? This is no longer No Man's Sky. You might as well have cancelled it, remade another game because this is completely different to what it was when you first released it.
But fair play to them. They fixed it.
Oh,
And
they
it is
did.
actually a fairly good game now, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's pretty good. What was it? I think was it 6 months or so it took them to really do it.
I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was like at least a year.
Oh,
Well,
God. It went quick. It went quick. Then is all I can
Yeah.
say.
But
It's-
they fixed the game, so they fixed the game, but they kept on adding stuff. That's the dedication they had to the game, so you can't fault them for that.
They must have known and thought, we'll give it, it's an empty game to get people in it. I mean, I don't know. They might have had different visions of how they thought when it came out, but yeah, that was the only problem. It was just,
Yeah, Tony was saying it took years to fix.
Did it take
Yeah, I
years?
thought it
Okay.
did. Yeah, like I'm sure it's only within the last couple of years that it's really become like a decent game.
it might have just been my thought then that, okay, it didn't take them that long, so well.
No, it really, really did.
No, that's just my mind. That's my mind. And Cyberpunk was just broken.
Yeah, I think Cyberpunk is largely playable now, depending on what you play it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm not sure what the performance is like on like PS4s. I know Tony's been able to play it, but he does have a monster of a PC.
Yeah, he does.
Have you managed to play it, Jacob, on anything?
I played it on the Xbox, the Series X, so I did have it at launch, but then I took it off. But I didn't want to trade it back. Well, I didn't want a refund. I just thought, well, I'm more willing just to give them time to fix it. But I think the previous generation, like the Xbox Ones and the PS4s, really struggled with the game unless you got the pro versions for them. You're better off playing it with what is the current generation or on PC.
Yeah, no, that's it, I think. But it was definitely dodgy as hell when it first came out. I mean, you talk about microtransactions with it. There was also talk about review games. There's also one of Need for Speed games, which I think was Payback. I think that I got.
Yes.
Yeah, they got, and again, actually, I've got it all next to me. I've got all my review games next to me. Funnily enough, was it that one? Oh, yeah, it was Payback. Yeah, it was. It was Need for Speed Payback. That was just as awful. You got that, and my God, it was like, oh, if you want to do this, you got to pay this. If you got to do that, or you got to pay for this. It was like, are you taking the piss? And again, embargo, I wasn't allowed to talk about it. I wasn't allowed to talk about the little extras that you could add on as you were going through. You had to talk about the story. That was it. So all I was allowed to talk about was the story.
It's so disingenuous, isn't it?
Yeah, it just took the piss. It's like, we've got this great game. You did have a great game, but you're not allowed to tell them all the bad shit. Right.
Yeah, so how are you supposed to trust reviews?
And to me, I don't. I really don't.
No.
This is why, not necessarily just you guys, but I wait until people have actually played it or even completed it and sort of get their real vision of it. Oh, I liked it, but I had to do this and that, and that's what sort of stirs me a bit more towards them. But unless I really, really, really want a game when it comes out.
Did you see the problem Payback had? It was the same problem it had with Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I was going to mention Star Wars.
microtransactions.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is another good
But
one.
Battlefront 2 took all the attention away from Payback, and they both basically had the same issue.
Oh, really? I didn't realise they came out at the same time, actually.
There was 7 days separating them.
Ah,
So
and they
what?
both did the same thing.
Pretty much.
Oh, sorry, go on. I thought Pete was going to say something.
I just said EA.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, just EA being EA, yeah.
Another crap one. I don't know if anybody ever actually played it. Anthem.
Yeah.
Heard
Well,
that
I
one.
haven't played it, but that's like any kind of list of terrible launches, Anthem's right up there.
Boring.
Again, like just like mis-selling it as well. Like or like the promo footage and stuff like that made it look amazing, and then you go to play it and it's just absolute crap.
My favourite thing
Is
about
this
that.
EA again?
Yeah, there's EA again.
It's
My
That's
favourite.
Bioware, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
It's as if they send out half-done games thinking, look, we need to get this out. Look, we've got the dates. That's the date that we're going to. And the people writing them go, yeah, but we need an extra 2 years. Nope. That's the date. Okay. And it's like...
My favourite thing about that was the devs take a look at the demo and go, oh man, that game looks amazing. What game's that? It was like, oh god, it's a game. It doesn't look like that.
Oh, that was absolutely awful. I remember thinking, oh, that'll be quite good when you sort of see it. Oh, yeah. No. I think was it free when it came out as well? Was it on?
Oh, absolutely not.
Was it on Game Pass?
no.
It's on EA's
No,
Game
I don't
Pass.
think so.
I can't
It
remember.
was on EA's thing. That's what I played it. I paid for a month of that, and then I was like, yes, good.
Absolute crap.
Get back to me and make another single player RPG. It's been 5 years, BioWare. Yeah, on it.
Sort your life out.
Yeah.
Well, who else has got something? Go on, give us a top contender of your worst one, apart from No Man's Sky.
I mean, there was the big ones that came out this year, Skull and Bones and Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
Oh God, of course. I mean, I've not played them, but I've not heard anything good.
If we want to go with Bethesda, we've got Fallout 76 as well,
Oh.
2018.
Jesus.
Yeah, it promised so much and then delivered
Fuck all.
something similar to the first, something similar to No Man's Sky before they fixed that, like just a whole load of nothing.
I just don't understand how developers like can get away with it and get away
Because
with.
people will pay for it anyway.
I know, but they've got to think they'll get slated. They're sending out an obviously unfinished product. I mean, God, take my job. If I sent somebody out without a coffin, I'd be slated.
Mm.
I'd be international news. Unfinished product.
I'd say as well, like Jedi Survivor needs a mention, especially on PC, because like that was just like I got it on PS5 because I suspected it would probably be a bit better on there, and it wasn't too bad, even though I had issues with like graphics just like randomly popping in a bit later. But yeah, there were some people that literally couldn't play that when it launched.
Wow.
So similar to Cyberpunk, but not quite as bad. Battlefield 2042, that had a pretty bad launch from what I remember. Like, I quite enjoy playing it now, but when it first came out, like...
Oh, it was very rough.
There was one that did worse.
What?
Battlefield 4. When that launched, the whole thing was broken, and it got them into legal troubles as well because of the state of the game.
Wow.
And it took them nearly a full year just to get it working. But I just remembered the multiplayer just didn't work, and then you try to play the single player campaign, and you'll get so far. Then when you boot up the game the next day, and it's all gone, all your progress. It's just, I could have sworn I've done these levels before. What's going on? But no, I've just found it hilarious. I found a quote from the DICE LA producer saying we still probably have a lot of players who won't trust us to deliver a stable launch or a stable game. And this is, it's saying this, we learned our lesson. It's like, you haven't learnt your lesson because we're still seeing these problems 10 years later.
Mm.
But also have to throw in Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh,
yeah.
Calm yourself down.
That did not have a good launch at all.
No, the single player was fine if you want to do the campaign, but the multiplayer was completely broken. And it's similar to was it the Battlefront Classics that you had all the base games there. All you had to do is just polish them up and release them, and yet they still messed it up.
Anybody in chat, if you've got any, please type them in as well.
How about Aliens Colonial Marines?
Oh man.
Oh.
Like, even like as we did a playthrough with the mod, Can't remember what the mod was called, but yeah, even then it was still not the best.
I remember you pretty much all hate playing it in the end. Just like, oh,
It was
let's just finish it.
absolutely hate playing it.
Look, we just
A
need
bit
to
like me in
finish
God of War.
it. Yeah. Also, one that came out last year, which I was looking forward to, that Redfall.
Yeah, that just crashed and burned, didn't it?
It was awful.
I got one where it released okay on the consoles, but the PC version just would not work for ages. Arkham Knight.
Yep.
Mm.
Which was very, very obviously.
Tony's thrown eFootball in.
That didn't
chat.
have a great start. No, you're very right. It just didn't. I don't think it didn't work, if I remember, or it had not a lot on it. Tony could probably remind us a bit more of it, but I know it did not have a great start.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of like bad graphics, technical issues, visual bugs. Like it was just broken.
Red Heroes go, what WTF is this?
This is a podcast. Welcome.
Yes, hello, hello. We are talking about the worst games at launch. You know, what are the worst games at launch? Tell us yours.
I suppose you could throw the day before, which just was broken.
Oh yeah.
So bad it had to be. Well, Steam had to take it down.
Payday.
There's just a lot of that going around, though, isn't there? Like Gollum as well. That King Kong game. Like it was just, especially last year, a real mixed bag of real gems and then absolute garbage.
They just bombed straight
But
away.
they're just like bad games.
What do you mean? I seen Gollum on plenty of lists last year. Had to be good, surely.
Oh. Payday 3 was crap as well when that came out. That didn't work. Half the servers were down.
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers as well. That one.
And that had such
Yeah.
high hopes, because I remember playing that at Eurogamer, and it was such good. Then when I actually bought it, I got it, and I was thinking, what? This is shit.
Did you buy it at launch?
No, I didn't buy it at launch.
No.
At launch.
I was going to say that'll teach you.
Yeah, but that's probably the thing. No, I don't know what did me in. I bought something at launch. I played it. Oh no, I think it must have been from getting all the Call of Duties at launch. And it got to be I'm just buying the same game a year later.
Yeah, I think I got to about. I think it's Call of Duty World War II. I stopped getting them each year. Then the last one I bought was Modern Warfare, the 2019 one.
Isn't the one that just came out awful as well?
Oh, that was horrific. You could tell from the latest one their focus was on the multiplayer, and the campaign would go, yeah, well, we better do something about it. There you go. And it's like 4 hours long or something like that. And all it is just using the multiplayer maps just to make campaign missions out of them.
Jesus.
Another one to throw in. 13. Anybody play that?
13?
No.
No,
So-
I don't know that.
Yeah, so there was
No.
It came out years ago, but then Ubisoft decided to do a remaster. Oh no, not a remaster. It was a remake, but that was absolutely horrific. Ended up being on quite a few game lists for not the right reasons. But again, the original was fondly remembered, and they tried to capitalize on it and made something worse.
All boils down to wanting profits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it all comes down to money, innit? I mean, that's half the problem. Get them out early. Don't care if they're working, because we made a lot of money on it. We robbed people.
Well, the only difference between, let's say, now and going back to, was it the PlayStation, the original Xbox, or the older consoles, is at least now, if they know it's broken, they can patch it and fix it later. Whereas those games on those generations, it's like, once it's broken, that's it. You're never going to fix it.
Yeah. It's bad, innit? Real bad. Real bad. So, there we go. We've got quite a few games there actually, which we think that was really bad at launch.
It's an ever-growing list, though, isn't it?
It
I'm sure
is.
there'll be more for this year.
Yeah, and I'm sure we could all sit here and add and add and add and add to it as we just keep going through. But we'll be here all day otherwise. So
Well, we can do like best and worst games of the month as we're going through.
we could do. We're nearly at the end of this month, so our next podcast will be going through our favourite game of March. So that'll be a good one. That's a good bit to end on. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Again, it's fun as always, guys. I like the little chats that we have. As I say, what I just said, please come back next time. We'll be giving you our best and now worst game of March, and we'll even look at the worst game of January and February as well, just to top it off. We've probably got the worst game of February already, but I'm sure we'll find some more. Yes, so as always, please feel free, carry on following our YouTube channel here, and carry on following Starbuck at Starbucks _C17 on Twitch. She's always streaming. I think we're doing Alan Wake today again.
I'm still doing Alan Wake too.
Still
No, I didn't play it today. I need to soon.
Okay.
Right. One more stream and then I'll be done.
One more
I
stream.
can play
she's finished.
Steakhouse.
And then it's on to something. But it's great. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Have a nice time and behave yourselves. Say bye, everyone.
Au revoir.
Hi, everyone.